It's how do I get food on the table today? How do I get through my day? How do I accomplish what's in front of me today? And they always seem to be in the same boat financially. Why is that? Really living into what would it be like to be a multi-millionaire? How would I act? How would I feel? What decisions would I make? Welcome to another Manifesting Success live call. Today we are talking about the 5 keys to a millionaire mindset. Now, millionaires or successful people, people who are self-made, who've set a goal and have been able to achieve them, often possess certain distinguishing characteristics and traits that set them apart from others. And so I really want to talk about 5 keys that I've found in working with truly successful people in my career and in my life that have really made the difference. And I've seen them embody them versus other people who get stuck, who don't really move the needle, and who maybe set goals or have dreams, but allow them to remain dreams and allow them to remain unaccomplished goals. And so we're going to go over 5 of them today. And one of them is vision. Having a clear vision. Vision is the center of millionaires and successful people. And what does vision mean? People who are successful have a clear and compelling picture of the future that they aspire to create for themselves and for others, for their family, for their business, for their community. And they have a clear and compelling picture of what they want to accomplish. And that picture involves long-term goals, it involves dreams, it involves aspirations. It's a picture of what their life is going to be like, whether or not, well, at this point, even though they do not experience it with their senses. And so you will not experience a reality that you have not experienced in your imagination thousands of times before. And that's a fact. You have to be living this life thousands of times and see it clearly with your eyes, with your ears, with your internal eyes, your internal ears, with your senses, experience it, feel it, even before you can experience it with your outer senses in order to accomplish that dream. You have to be living into it. You have to be into it. Robert Heinlein said, in the absence of a clearly defined vision, you become strangely loyal to daily trivia. What does that mean? If you don't know where you're going and you don't have a clear and compelling picture of that, you get caught up in emergencies. You get caught up in the rigmarole. You get caught up in the ordinary. You get caught up in the distractions of life, of society, of everything that's pulling at you every day. You get caught up in survival, honestly. It's how do I get food on the table today? How do I get through my day? How do I accomplish what's in front of me today? Versus truly dreaming that big life. And when you have that clear vision, then you can't help but take steps forward. You can't help but move forward towards it. You can't help but start to break through those seemingly insurmountable barriers that will inevitably be in front of you. Because if I know that my destination is over there, then it doesn't matter what's in front of me, I'm going there. Now, if I don't know my destination is there, I just kind of get ping ponged through life, right? I might head in that direction, hit a block, and then, oh, I guess that's not for me. Let me go over here. And then I'll be diverted again. Oh, there's a shiny object here. Oh, society says I should be doing this, and I'm just going back and forth, ping ponging through life, and I never really get to my vision. And so successful people have a very clear vision. They've lived that life over and over again. They've experienced their dream thousands of times. Now, why do you create the life that you keep creating? Because you've already experienced that thousands of times. It's your reality. Or if it's not your current reality, it's something that you've grown up with, or it's something that society has implanted with you. It's something that you've been surrounded by. And if you don't believe me, look at your life. And look at the lives of the people around you and look at them over time. What you'll find is someone's physical health will pretty much be the same. If you look at someone, maybe you visit someone once a year, maybe over the holidays, and you've seen them the last 10 years. Don't they kind of look the same? Maybe they've gained, 5 or 10 pounds. But if someone's really big, they pretty much are always going to be pretty big. If someone's super skinny, the next time you meet them around the holidays, they're going to be super skinny. When you gather in a room, everyone kind of maintains that same physical stature, same physical energy. And why is that? Because they haven't experienced anything new. That's they're in the same habits, they're eating the same food, their level of activity is the same. They haven't done anything different. Look at someone's money. You might have that cousin who is always struggling, right? They're always a day late, a dollar short. They're always struggling with money, and it could be, you could be talking to them today. You could have talked to them 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and they always seem to be in the same boat financially. Why is that? Again, because that's the experience they're creating, because that's the experience they're surrounded by, versus someone who is fit. They've got a workout regime and they eat right, they're healthy, they're muscular, whatever it is. Over the years, you'll see them maintain that because that's their life. And so, if we want something different, we have to experience a different life. We have to surround ourselves with that vision of that new life. And it has to be imprinted within us thousands and thousands of times. And so, you may not be experiencing a certain, let's say, wealth mindset, and so really living into what would it be like to be a multi-millionaire? How would I act? How would I feel? What decisions would I make? Now, most people, I'll tell you, because I'm big on dreaming, and this is just the first step. People want to get stuck on this. They just want to dream and then stop there because this is the fun part. We're going to take you through some other steps, but you can't bypass this one. But I want to mention that, people get stuck in this first step because they wanna dream, and all they wanna dream about is spending the money, which is fine and dandy. But when you look at truly rich people, they're not just all out there spending money. They're out there creating money. They're out there developing that wealth mindset. They're out there investing. They're making good decisions for their future. And they're sacrificing or they're putting off the present for their future. So when you dream about being a millionaire, look at what is it truly like to be a millionaire? If I had $1 million, we look at lotto winners, right? They make millions of dollars overnight, and within 3 years, they're back to the same place they were, or even worse. Why? Because it's the first time they've experienced money, and they just go out and spend it all, and they make foolish decisions around it. So, what decisions would you make? And that would be part of you stepping into that vision of being a millionaire. So that's number one. The first key is that vision. You have to be clear. Successful people have a clear and well defined vision that outlines exactly what they want to achieve and the impact that they seek in the world. And they're connected to their purpose and they're connected to that. They have that long term vision. And then they also have, the vision of the road because the road is going to be rocky. The road is you're going to stumble across the road. And so having that vision of okay, I'm gonna, if I want to, let's say, get into a bodybuilding competition, I have to envision myself working out and work and sweating and pushing myself through whatever barriers there are. So that's part of the visioning as well that we want to step into. Now, key number two is risk taking. Risk taking is a fundamental trait among millionaires, self made millionaires, as successful people. In order to be successful, you have to be willing to venture into uncharted territory. You have to be willing to make decisions that involve uncertainty. You have to be willing to go through something that can potentially have a downside. Now, successful people take calculated risks. They don't, go out there and jump without a parachute. They don't invest in the next shiny object. Most broke people, as soon as they make money, they want to invest in that big promise, that overnight, success promise, and that's the biggest and the best way to lose all of your money. And so, successful people take calculated risks. They don't take risks blindly. They engage in calculated risk taking. They do their research. They carefully assess the potential rewards and the consequences of their actions. They do thorough research. They gather all the relevant data. They weigh the probability of success against the potential pitfalls. Is it worth it to me? They do that before making those informed decisions. And they're comfortable with uncertainty. They're operating in environments where there's a lot of change, and they trust in their ability to adapt through change, because they don't sit there and stare at the sign that says road closed waiting for it to magically open. They see that sign that says road closed and they're like, okay, let's pivot. We got to try something new. They take feedback and make immediate adjustments. They don't sit there and watch everything fall apart right before their eyes. If things are starting to crumble, they immediately go into action. What can we do? And so, I heard a statistic or I heard someone talk about people who are optimists versus pessimists. And I think this kind of goes alongside with the risk taking. Optimists see all possibilities, right? I have an idea, it's going to be successful. Whereas pessimists are a lot more realistic. They know exactly what's going to fail. They actually know, you know, the chances of something succeeding. They're a lot more logical and realistic. But I'll tell you, more optimistic people succeed. Why? Because they believe in their vision more powerfully than they are willing to maybe claim defeat. Whereas a pessimist will never start. An optimist will start and will keep going because they don't believe that it's possible to fail. So we want to have a blend of the two. So we want to be optimistic in our vision and in our ability to take risks and move forward, but have a little bit of that realistic perspective where we can look at the information, we can look at the data, we can do our research and make informed decisions. And so if you're not willing to take a risk, if you're not willing to go beyond your comfort zone, there is absolutely no way you will create anything different. And so, in order to be successful, we have to push through those fears and those doubts and be willing to risk maybe being comfortable for the potential of being really successful and making a bigger impact. Number three key to a millionaire mindset is financial discipline. Now, this is the part where people get stuck. People aren't all excited about, oh, really? I have to manage my money? Yes, you have to manage your money. Yes, you have to be disciplined around your money. Yes, you have to be a master of your money. I love the idea of not I love, but it's interesting that we carry MasterCards around, right? It says, think about it. It's this card holds you as a master because you're paying interest to this thing that is, in essence, keeping you captive. So, financial discipline is a critical factor in distinguishing successful people from others. And it involves really understanding how to manage your financial resources. It includes managing how much you earn, how much you save, how much you spend, how much you invest, how to earn, save, spend, and invest, and how you're willing to plan the present for your future financial stability, for your future financial prosperity, and being willing to sacrifice or forego the present comforts, material objects for your future prosperity. And I'll tell you what most people don't do. They hear this whole law of attraction. Let me just think I'm rich and I'll be rich, and let me just go spend money I don't have. And that's the best way to go into poverty. or they have this big dream and they quit their job without having anything to fall back on, not understanding that it takes a while to build a business. And so they don't take those steps in creating that financial security while you're building a business or while you're building your vision or while you're building your dream, so that you actually have those steps that you can walk through and you don't have to fall, through the cracks and dig yourself out, which will eventually, it will inevitably take you longer to achieve that level of security. And so, financially successful people, people who are millionaires, self-made millionaires, people who are successful, very prudent with their money. And again, in the spiritual space, people don't like to hear that. They're masters of their money. They save. They invest wisely. They do their due diligence in researching investments. They don't invest in things that they don't know about. Most people will invest in a stock that their uncle mentioned and then wonder why they lost all their money. It's they invest in things that they're familiar with. So it might be an industry that you grew up with, or that you've experienced, or that you're comfortable with, or you've done a lot of research in. And so being willing to invest in a way that can build that financial future for yourself. And also debt management. It's not spending money you don't have. Now, I'm not saying go around saying, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, I can't afford, that. That's a poverty mindset. But looking at something and say, oh, I can afford that. That's great. When I hit a certain number, I'm going to go get that. Or I would love that. I can afford that, but it doesn't make sense for me to get it now, because my eye is on the future. My eye is on the financial wealth and abundance that I'm creating for myself. And so they're not willing to go into debt today whenever possible, just because something is flashy and shiny. It's the millionaires don't upgrade their cars, they don't upgrade their lifestyle until their money is making them money. And so we want to have that same level of mentality of, I'm investing, and that's exciting to me. That's more exciting than spending money on this car that depreciates the minute I buy it, the minute it drives off the car lot. I would much rather purchase a duplex, live in one and rent out the other and have them pay my mortgage, than buy that big house that that's just sucking me dry. And so making those decisions around money every single day, and also being on top of your money. Successful people know exactly what their value is around money, and they only spend things that provide value back to them. So they don't throw money away left and right. One of the simple things that I changed years ago, and this was when I was broke and I was paying, bounce check fees left and right. When I look back and think of how much money I threw away, and when I started to shift my mindset around money, I won't even go to an ATM that charges a fee. Whereas most people are like, "Oh, I need $100. It's okay if I throw away $3 for that fee." To me, that's my money and I work really hard for it. I will not. I refuse to pay ATM fees. So I have a bank that doesn't charge ATM fees. And I purposefully, before I used to drive around looking for, a free ATM machine that was affiliated with my bank. Now I have a bank that doesn't charge me anything. And that's like one area where I've made changes. So think about, what are those things that you throw money away at that you really don't need to, because you work hard for your money. And so we want to respect that and to build that until our money works for us. Because unless your money is making money for you, you are not financially free. Because if you don't have money making money for you, then as soon as you stop working or get an illness or lose your business, there's no more money. That's not freedom. That's not freedom. You're still captive. And so that should be your goal, is as quickly as possible, how can I get to financial freedom where my livelihood, my life, my lifestyle is not dependent on me working every day. And now I can leverage money to make more money for me. Then I'm free to do what I want. I personally will never retire. This is my vocation. This is my passion. I will be doing this till the day I die. But to have to do that is a prison. And so my goal is as quickly as possible is to create that level of financial freedom for the lifestyle that I want. Now, the lifestyle I want is much greater than what I'm living right now. And so my commitment to myself is I'm not changing my lifestyle until that level of income and that level of investment pays for the lifestyle that I desire. Before I started working doing this work full time, I had jobs. I had jobs my entire life. And when I really wanted to let go of my job so that I can devote my time to this work, my commitment to myself was I was going to make double my income in my current job in the business before I even left. So I didn't want to go into survival. It's hard to create from survival. So that was a financial decision that really served me well. Is I had to make double my income before I left my day job. So that's just an idea of how to be financially responsible as you build your wealth and as you develop that mindset that's going to help you continue to develop wealth. Number four, key to a millionaire mindset is continuous learning. Now, continuous learning is, again, a fundamental characteristic of successful people, millionaires, because they recognize the importance of acquiring new knowledge. They have to gather new skills. They understand that new insights are required in order for them to grow. That we are living in an ever evolving world. There's evolving market trends. There's opportunities that continue to shift and change and transform on a day-to-day basis. There's competition, and so someone who is successful is always going to be committed to learning. That's one thing that I'll tell you ever since I was young is I learned from everywhere and every place. And that's my commitment to myself because I'm required to grow in order to accomplish the goals that I have. And I have some really big goals. And there's never an end to it. It really makes me sad when, I'm in a place and I meet people who say, "Oh yeah, I already know that. I already heard that. Oh yeah, I've got that. Oh yes, I know that." And to me, it makes me sad because all that tells me that they don't have a growth mindset. Because I will learn from every experience. I will learn from every person, even though they don't have the level of education that I do, or the teaching, or the background. There's still something to garner and gather from every single person, every single book, every workshop. Even when I watch movies, I walk away and reflect, what can I learn from this? And there's a lot to reflect on. So, continuous learning. We have to adapt new skills. We have to adapt new tools. We have to adapt new ways of thinking. And we have to stay on top of market trends and the competition and the world and what's going on, and be willing to evolve to gather that new knowledge. And again, commit to that lifelong learning. It's an ongoing process. There's never a point where, we're done. I heard a statistic, and forgive me, I may be messing this up, but it's something like once a person graduates school, they do not read more than I think it's like 3 books in their lifetime. This year, I think I've read 4 or 5 books already, and we're just into February. And sometimes I've read the same books over again because I'm not the same person. So you know how when you watch a movie the second time, there's something in there that you didn't see the first time because you're different. Same thing with a book. I've read books that I've read, years ago, and because I'm a different person, there's something else there for me. There's another prize, there's another gift, there's another blessing, there's another lesson in there for me because I'm different. I've evolved. And so we have to be committed to continuous learning, and part of the learning is taking feedback when things don't work out. instead of beating ourselves, which offers no value and in essence keeps us stuck into the past and in that spiral of failure. It's when things don't work out as we ask ourselves, what did I learn? What gift can I take from this moving forward? What does this mean to me? What will I gather? What new skills, what new knowledge, what new understanding, what new insight, what new empathy can I gather from this that will help me as I move forward in my life? So, constantly asking those questions is vital if we want to harness the power of success that we all have. And number five, key to creating that millionaire mindset is focusing on adding value. Focus on adding value. It's a core principle, and it really distinguishes people who are out there wanting to just use and abuse people and make money and run away versus the ones who are in it for the long haul, who are going to create the long-term sustainable long-lasting results. The successful people are always focusing on how do I add value, and it involves a mindset of service where you're always prioritizing meeting the needs and solving problems for others. And you're meeting their needs through your products, your services, your contributions, what you have to give. When you're constantly looking at how do I serve in a really big way, then you become invaluable. You become invaluable to the universe, and the universe will absolutely reward you. People will gravitate towards you. People will want to pay you. People will buy your products and services. People will hire you. So, how can I add extra value? In my work, in my coaching, I overpromise and over deliver. And I'm always looking for ways of how can I provide even more value to my clients? Because once they say yes to themselves and start working with me, I'm committed to their results. So I'm constantly growing so I can offer more. And so this involves having that customer centric approach. It's, prioritize understanding the person's needs that's in front of you, their preferences, what are their pain points, what are they dealing with? Being willing to do the market research, being willing to gather the information around what they need. What is their feedback? Being willing to ask them for feedback. And that can be a hard pill to swallow, because sometimes we mess up. And, asking for customer feedback might mean, oh, I was at your restaurant and this dish was subpar, or it was cold, or the service was less than I am used to, or less than, the service was horrible. We'll just call it what it is. But taking that feedback and doing something about it and realizing that I'm here to serve. If I own a restaurant, my desire, my vision is to feed people and feed their heart and their soul in addition to their stomach, make them feel good, provide an atmosphere that makes them feel a certain way so that they want to come back. And they will come back and they'll continue to bring their friends and their family and really gravitate towards you, and you'll benefit from it. You'll become wealthy because of it. And so it's about building strong relationships. It's about fostering loyalty. It's about differentiating yourself in this competitive world, because there's a lot of people doing what you do, but there's not a lot of you. There's only one of you. So how do you differentiate yourself in this really noisy world? And it's continuously, looking at how can I, again, be better, offer more, improve my services. And that goes back to continuous learning. How can I grow so that I can offer more to the person that's in front of me? How can I be a bigger contributor to their joy, to their happiness, to their success, to what they're coming to me from? And that also means taking care of your employees. If you have businesses or you're a manager, it's having that atmosphere or that environment where the people that are on your team offer that same level of commitment to your client, to serving. And so there's a culture of taking care of the clients. Now I'll tell you, if you're a manager and you're an employee, you have to take care of your people, because when you take care of your people, they will take care of the clients. And so it's really, again, fostering this community of we're here to serve all of us, including my employees. I'm here to serve my employees by providing them a wage. I want to keep this business viable and successful so that they can take care of their families. And coming from that, if I'm taking care of my employees, they're absolutely going to take care of the clients, and the clients are going to be happy. So we want to have those 5 keys in mind and really embody them. So to recap, key number 1 to creating that millionaire mindset is vision. We have to have that clear vision. Number 2 is risk taking. We have to be willing to go beyond the comfort and be able to stretch and learn and grow and take risks. Number 3 is we have to have that financial discipline. It's being a master of your money and having the end goal of financial freedom in order to support you and the purpose that you have in life. Number 4 is continuous learning, committing to constant and never ending improvement. How can I be a better person, better boss, better business owner, better coach, better whatever it is that you do? How can I improve myself, and committing to constantly growing and always looking for opportunities to grow? There's never an end point. And number 5 is focusing on adding value. It's how can I serve in a greater way? How can I add value to other people? So those are the 5 keys to a millionaire mindset. All right, lots of love, ladies, and we'll see you soon. You take care. Bye bye.